Hola, soy Carson. Voy a enseñarle sobre la cultura española. Did I get your attention? You're probably wondering exactly what I said. Well, I can tell you. I said, hi, I'm Carson, and today I'm going to teach you all about the Spanish culture. Now, in high school, I took 4 years of Spanish, and at one time I was almost 100% fluent. Now, since high school, and actually the last 8 years, I have made 1 trip to Spain and 2 trips to Mexico, all within that time frame. So I would actually say I'm pretty well versed in the culture entirely. But today, you're going to get a sneak peek actually into the customs, the holidays, the cuisine, and the dress of the Spanish culture. Now, there are many traditions that we as Americans have incorporated into our world. So many of the things that you see today actually may be familiar to you, but I'm hoping that I can actually help educate you to show you where that came from. I think that's pretty neat. To begin with the customs, when you meet someone, you are actually expected to shake hands, a lot like you would do here in the US. Once a relationship is established between men, they will actually embrace. You don't typically see that here, but that is something that you would see in the Hispanic culture. Women, on the other hand, they will actually kiss each other's cheeks. They'll start with the left, and then they'll go to the right. Also, men use a 2-handed shake, where the left hand is placed on the right forearm of the other person. Next, I'd like to talk to you about the traditional holidays in the Hispanic culture. The first one is Navidad, which we as Americans know as Christmas. It's one of the most sacred religious holidays and celebrations in the Hispanic culture. Now, different from the US, they specifically look at the nativity of Christmas, or Navidad. They call it Nacimiento, which is the recreation of Jesus' birth. You will see that here in America, but typically only with people that practice Catholicism. Christmas, however, though, in the US is celebrated everywhere. The next holiday is Cinco de Mayo, which is the date observed to commemorate the Mexican Army's unlikely victory over the French force at the Battle of Puebla on May 5th, 1862. Parades and festivals are held all over the streets in Hispanic cultures. However, there are some misconceptions about Cinco de Mayo. The first being that Cinco de Mayo is the Mexican Independence Day, which is entirely false. The Mexican Independence Day was actually celebrated 50 years prior to Cinco de Mayo. Another misconception is that many people believe that all Latinos celebrate Cinco de Mayo. Again, completely false. Next, I'd like to talk to you about some traditional cuisine. I have 3 things, 2 being possibly familiar and 1 probably not so much. The first is something called a churrasco, which is a Spanish term for beef or grilled meat. It's very popular in countries like Argentina, Chile, Brazil, and Colombia. To help make a picture of it, it's kind of like an American shish kebab. The next item is an empanada, which probably you may be familiar with. It's like a baked or fried bread or pastry, which is stuffed with meat, cheese, vegetables, fruits. There are savory and there are sweet versions available. You can purchase an empanada sweet version at a restaurant here in the US called at Taco Bell. So that's really neat if you'd like to try something new. Lastly, another probably unfamiliar term is a chipa, which is a small baked cheese flavored roll. It's a popular breakfast and snack food. It's kind of like a cheese-filled roll here, or like a croissant with cheese in it. Last but not least, I'd like to talk to you about some traditional dress in the Hispanic and Spanish culture. And I'd like to start with some unfamiliar and move to something more familiar to end on more of a fun note. The first thing is a chaquetilla, which is worn by a Spanish bullfighter. It's a short jacket that allows plenty of movement and is essential for dodging bulls. And this is something that's actually still worn today. Something a little bit more familiar to you probably is called a poncho. The poncho originated in Central and South America and dates all the way back to 50 BC. Ponchos are intended to keep people dry, just like you'd see here, possibly like a baseball game. All the time you see people wearing those plastic ponchos, so it's really neat to think about that transition. Ponchos also are in fashion now. You see them on the runways, so it's really neat to see the extent, the new culture. Another familiar clothing item is a sombrero, perhaps one of the most traditional Mexican clothing that you are familiar with. It's a tall, wide-brimmed hat that's designed to shade from harmful rays of the sun. It looks a little something like this. This is a sombrero. If you like it, thank you very much. Baseball caps and beanies are actually derived from sombreros, which we see every single day in our culture. Now, if you look at a sombrero, they actually are from all over the world. This one is straight from Mexico from one of my friends. There are designs that actually mean a ton of different things, which you can research online. I'm sure you'll find that extremely interesting. Now, I hope that you were able to take something out of this presentation. I really think it's neat how many of the cultures that we see today are derived from other places, especially the Hispanic culture. From the holidays to the customs, from the cuisine to the dress, we're really all a lot alike when we don't even know it. The Hispanic culture absolutely fascinates me, and I hope that it helped pique your interest too. I really want to thank you for listening, and if you have any questions, never hesitate to reach out to me. Thank you. All information can be found at comiscoglobal.com, factsaboutmexico.com, and topuniversities.com.